Joining us now, two people who know Katie better than most, her mum, Amy, and her brother, Danny. Welcome, guys. So it's day 4 and she's been put through all of that. Did you advise her that it was a good idea or a bad idea when she said she was going in?
Well, when she first spoke to me about it, I was a bit, oh no, you can't do that, it's going backwards. But when she explained to me the reasons why she wanted to do it, I could understand why.
So what were her reasons? What did she say she was
Well, it's definitely closure, because I think she wanted to go in there. I don't really want to talk about, you know, the marriage, but because she hasn't had time, or the occasion hasn't arisen for her to speak with Pete about what went wrong or what are the reasons and that, I think she needed to go in there to sort of relive in herself, to sort of close it down, really. And I think she's done that. She's reliving through.
It's an odd place to go to figure
I know,
out what
but it's
you're
going
gonna
back
say
to
your
where it all
ex-husband.
started, though, isn't it? But I think with her, what she's doing, the heart is saying to her, you've got to go through this. And then the next part of her, the head says, right, it's over with now, I'm moving on, and I've moved on. And that's what I think it's all about.
She has sort of been saying up until now that she has moved on already, though.
Yeah.
So it seems strange that she needs to move on again.
Yeah, I think with the day-to-day activities of the last 6 months or so, and Kate is very much a people person. She's very rarely on her own. And when she told me that she was first going into the jungle, I thought, absolutely brilliant. It gives her the first opportunity to be on her own, away from the merry-go-round of the press following her around. She's on her own, even though it's bizarre that she has to go halfway around the world in front of a camera for 24 hours to get peace and quiet. But it's also a fact that she can sit back and reflect and look at
She could have
what's
done that
happened.
on a beach in Barbados, though.
Well,
couldn't
she could do, but she'll only have camera lenses 50 metres down the road.
Well, she's got them all round, I suppose.
I know,
500
I
round.
know.
But
That's what we think
yeah,
is really strange.
It's really
but
weird, yeah.
If you were outside a house and you see the number of paps that are out there all the time, it's really quite alarming and it's quite dangerous. You can't go anywhere without seeing her on a magazine, in a newspaper. It's been constant.
But the
Would
problem
she-
is, though,
But from her point of view,
yes.
but from her point of view, you've got to think like she's gone in there. She's used to cameras. It doesn't worry her.
Would she have done it for free then?
I would have thought
it's
so.
all
Someone had
about
asked her, but it's for charity,
getting
though, isn't
over
it? It's for
something.
malaria as well, isn't it?
That
She
is-
still
is
gets
that
a
what
big
she's-
wage, though.
Well, it is for. It doesn't matter about that. It's immaterial. It's for charity, isn't it? That she's gone in there for. So obviously she's going to raise more money for that as well. So you know.
But when
you've
you
got to
say-
look at
when
it
you
three
say-
different ways. It's her going in.
Yeah.
The money's immaterial.
Right.
I think it's just a temptation to get her in there. That in the end she's, oh yeah, come on, I might as well do it. I need closure. I can
loves
raise
a
money,
challenge.
and she loves a challenge.
But do you think that also there's an element to the fact, and you know, we've known Katie for a
Yeah,
very
I know
long
you
time.
have.
She comes in here all the time.
Yeah.
And actually, we're great fans of Katie. We like her.
Yeah.
But we know what she's like. I mean, she's a hard-nosed businesswoman. She likes to be in
Sure.
control. She's stubborn. And is there a possibility that there might have been a feeling for her that she was losing control of the press? That in actual fact, that there might have been a tide turning against her, and right, OK, that's it, I've lost control, I'm going over there, I'm going to regain control of the press.
Can you really gain control of the press? You can't, can you?
Well, she's gained
It's a
control of the
freedom
front pages now.
yeah, but that's not. It's not down to her that's doing it. It's the public that are doing
The
that.
first
isn't
time
it?
she went in, I think before she went in, people had sort of a perception of Jordan, as she was then. And I think actually the jungle really changed that around and really turned it around, and people saw her as Katie Price emerged from the jungle. So really, in a way, it did work last time. It did turn the tables. So,
Sure.
and again, actually, I have to say, you sort of see that lovely
Yeah.
soft side of her, which has come out again.
Yeah, the
But she
thing is
hasn't changed.
with the game that Kate's in, you know, she does have this facade of having to be very strong, very determined, and not to show emotion, even though it's very difficult for someone to be able to cope with the day-to-day exposure that she's getting. She doesn't ask for it. That's just what the papers want to print and so forth. And I've completely forgotten what I was going to answer now. I'm thinking 2 steps ahead.
Well,
But
let me ask you this then, because we're talking about that sensitive side to
Yeah.
her, and she has shown a
Yeah.
softer side, I think.
And a tough side.
And a tough side, but she hasn't gone in there and done any sort of Pete bashing. She was very sensitive and about it. Oh, you know, so real reminiscing the other night.
Yeah, but why would she want to sort of Pete bash? That's been gone over dusted. It's nothing to do with that. They've both moved on from there. And, you know, you've got to realise this, you know, it is, to her, it's the final thing. It's just a closure thing. She's moved on. She doesn't hate him.
It was kind of sad listening to her talk about him, and she spoke with him with such fondness, and it kind of made you think that all what's gone in the press is the breakdown of a marriage, two people that did really love each other, and you sort of, I found it quite hard to hear, actually, because it sort of made you feel quite sentimental about the whole thing.
Backtracking to her beforehand, where she has this exterior that she's very strong, there is the inner side that is very vulnerable and very insecure. And, you know, she's in an environment now where she hasn't got anyone talking in her ear roll, she's on her own, she's sit back and reflecting. And I think, like you say, when she's reflecting on Pete, saying that was his bed or that was where we'd walk from, she's,
we've got the clip,
she's opening up, she's opening up to it.
Let's have a look.
I was thinking earlier, I was having a shower sitting here because it's all changed. I'm sitting on the rock thinking, how weird, it's as if, like, you expect Pete to walk past. It's so surreal that is like, you know, I've been married, had the kids and divorced, all over. Like a whole circle, and I'm back here. So weird. As soon as I saw him, it was like love at first sight, 100%. I'd so believe in that. Fit, I remember. He kept getting his kit off, and I was like, what?
Do you know what's interesting about watching that as well? And we were looking at some of the clips from the first time round, and although, yeah, it's Katie and she's gone back in there, she's almost unrecognisable. And I know it's 6 years, but if you look, I mean, we've got a clip of her from the first time round. If you look at this, let's just have a little look. Oh, it's just coming up now.
Hang on a second, it'll be there in a sec. Here you go.
It's worth wait.
So look at her. She's a completely different person.
I mean, she looks so different. I mean, obviously, she's sort of had her nose done now and her teeth, and she's blonde, and she just looks physically very different.
Well, she's a woman now, for a start. She's had 3 children. She's moved on. She's had a lot of pain, a lot of heartache along the way, so it does change you. I bet if you look at pictures of both yourselves 6 years ago, you'd look completely different, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, my hair was a different colour completely.
Well, I don't know. I thought your ways were that colour.
It must be difficult for you. I mean, you're talking about her. She is your daughter. She's your sister, and we know that she's tough, and we know that, as we've said, you know, she's a hard-nosed businesswoman. But she is very close to you, and you watch her in there, appearing to be almost punished. Right, that's it. You do another trial. That's it. You do another trial. Facing her fears, the underwater. She's terrified. Had to be got out of that. As being as close as you are to her, that's got to be painful for you.
It's very painful, but before she went in, like, you know, we said to her, you know, you're going to get every trial, because people at the moment, if they hate you or whatever, they're going to challenge you to do everything. But, you know, it's no different than things in life, is it? If someone's sort of vulnerable or whatever, if the public thinks someone's done something wrong, it's like going back to the process. Let's stone them, let's make them suffer. It's like the gladiators, and it hasn't changed. It's just, it's now in this public arena of your show where they're actually taking all their spite and whatever out on her. So
is there a
it was
feeling
expected.
that I mean, she went in there to, as you say, this sort of American closure word, you know, to get over it and move on. But is there a feeling that it could go wrong for her, that it may not be the planned?
I don't think it can go wrong for her. I mean, she actually loves going into the jungle. She loved the challenges beforehand. She hasn't got as much bottle now as what she used to have.
That's age.
I don't think, I don't think it's a bad thing for her at all. I think she's actually quite relishing the challenges, and she knows the people are going to go vote for her. She knows that, and she probably thought she could coast through the trials. They are horrible things, aren't they?
I mean,
can you
They're
imagine?
tougher
And
this
it's
year,
very
I think.
tough.
I think so.
Mentally, it's very, very
But
tough.
she hasn't gone in there to win Pete back.
No, not at all.
My God, that's
Not at
been
all.
gone, dusted. No way.
And do you think she can win it?
No, definitely not.
Really?
No, she won't win it.
Yeah,
Of course
I
not.
don't think. I don't know.
I
There's-
can't see that in a million years.
There's some strong characters in the camp, and it's still very early days, and you know, everyone's still very pally, and they're all very, very cooperative with one another. But the hunger thing will kick in, and you know, we've seen Camilla leave the show recently.
Well, Kim
Yeah.
fronted up to her a bit, didn't she?
She did,
What
yes,
did you think
yes.
That's to be expected, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're going to get that in there, aren't
She's
you?
the only one, however.
Oh,
The rest of them
as
seem
it
to
goes
be-
on.
They're probably all
Nothing.
thinking it, but Kim was the only one that came out.
Shall we have a
saying it,
little
I
look
think.
at what she
Yeah,
said?
let's, yeah.
You're a publicity seeker. You live and die for publicity, and you do it well. Katie, please don't. I'm too old for this. You're standing there because you've got a gorgeous body. No, don't, because I'm too old, darling. You
What are you
complain,
gonna say?
but you wouldn't have it any other way, darling. And we
That's
all
all
know
I've
it.
ever known since I was 17.
Yeah, but love, I don't mind that, darling.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
don't pretend. Love, make as much money as you can. Madam,
That's brilliant
you
for you.
know you'll be all over the papers every day. Now stop it. You love it. And stop your nonsense.
Are you okay?
Of course. I'm like a robot who can fire any bullets you like at me.
She got it before. Bang, bang, bang.
Where did it come from?
Bang, bang, bang.
I'm quite sure we did think, all right, Kim, you've made your point now.
Yeah.
It's sort of going on a little bit, but she handled herself very
I
well
thought
there
she
by
did
not
as
biting
well.
back.
She, believe it or not, Kate isn't very confrontational. I know it sounds like everyone says, "Geez, it's hard," but she's not, and she doesn't bite over things like that. Do you know, because it's expected in there, isn't it? You're going to get people that are going to make a play at her for that because they obviously think, oh, that no one else is looking at anyone else but her. But of course, people are. They're watching the show. They're taking everyone in. But we told her that would happen as well. So she was
Well,
prepared
we'll see.
for that.
I
And,
hope somebody else gets a go at doing some trials.
Yeah,
though.
it'd be nice.
hope they do.
I would like to see
I'm a bit
someone
bored
else do
with
it
it. I know it
anyway.
I do.
I'm a bit
Yeah.
bored with watching her doing it myself.
Yeah.
I love seeing her going.
Yeah,
What a
it does.
lovely brother you are. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you very
indeed.
much. Right, when we